we are. It's almost February of 2024, and we're already in for quite a roller coaster with the reports from the government on the topic of UFOs. So it's interesting. Kirkpatrick wrote this article in Scientific America that's gotten quite a bit of attention, and I wrote a little bit of a response to this on Twitter as well. Um, talking about how there were a number of whistleblowers who skipped Arrow entirely because its mission was just the wrong mission. I mean, this was a anomaly resolution office. So, what do people who worked on, the scientists who worked on the reverse engineering program and held pieces of UFO medals, where do they go? A lot of them skipped Arrow and went right to the Inspector General's office, apparently, when all this was. And yeah, so where are we now with the media? The media is not really reporting on a lot of this stuff in the mainstream. They've instead, elected Jeremy Corbell to be the champion of ufology, completely unelected by the real UFO researchers and a lot of people in the community who just can't stand him. But we've talked enough about that guy. I want to get into not the people that are involved in this, because the people aren't as important as the ideas or concepts, and the people involved really don't even want to be involved. Kirkpatrick, when we went to the Senate hearing, he quickly got out of there. He spent a little bit of time, but as soon as I tried to get his attention and start talking to Mark ruined like the whole thing. He went up to him and started talking to him about nuclear dynamic orientation, and I was just like, dude, you gotta like. He started hearing the technical stuff and just ran out of the room. But this other guy,
no senator is gonna keep their attention span past 10 seconds when you start talking about nuclear spin orientation. You gotta get to the meat and grits details of this is the place you need to.
Well, there are different places where you shouldn't use the N-word, and the other N-word in a place like this, never say nuclear. Never.
Yeah, it's just, this is not the place to say that word. But anyways, Mark didn't know that. But I had to think very quickly of, how am I going to capture this person's attention in 30 seconds? And there we are handing, our card to Kirkpatrick as he walks and exits out the room right there. So he got the card. That has a link right to Falcon Space and APEC conference and all the stuff. So he got the lowdown on the info scoop. So, and I made sure that my Senate hearing UAP technical briefing was the first thing that came up. And there's a lot of people there trying to, give Senator Gillibrand their book and tell them about their lives. And, it was hard staying in line with a lot of these people, but, I respect all of them and their stories, and the fact that they traveled many miles, to go to this place. And
you did a good job down there, Jeremy. I wanted to tell you that. No one said much about that. You did a good job.
Yeah, so I went to the Senate hearing because I knew the Congressional hearing would just be this giant shit show, and it was. And they let Corbell in on a red carpet to sit there, right backstage at the whole thing, and hold his hands in the shape of a pentagon the entire time. I thought that was really weird. Someone else pointed that out. Another researcher who sat there and watched the whole thing of Corbell. But anyways, there's the video here of our trip to the Senate hearing, and I talked to Senator Gillibrand, got her attention for about five, maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes, but I basically told her about the patent holding companies and the scientific infrastructure. All of our national labs are still managed by this one company that's basically alleged to be the container organization that holds all the UFO files, and you won't be able to get access to it through FOIA or any of your information because you don't have access because it's a private corporation, and that's where they keep it all. And she was very interested by that. When you start telling people that, they're not even in charge and that they don't have access to this stuff, they start paying attention. So in any case, this other guy stepped in and like he swooped in as I was giving her the card. Not this guy, but there was another staffer guy, this older gentleman, and let me see if I can spot him out. I have his email.
He's 6 feet big, right? That's the big guy.
This guy with the glasses on. I don't know where he is.
No, it's not him. It's a younger guy, but he's bigger, man. He tried to intimidate you, didn't he? He didn't intimidate nobody.
Oh, this guy too. Yeah, he's trying to be like, oh, you know, like, dude,
They intimidating a Southie boy, man. Nope, not from Boston. Sorry, Jeremy got you.
Yeah. So, anyways, no, it was not a hidden camera. We had open cameras in this meeting. So, no, it was definitely.
It was open media to the world. There was also a closed door senator or hearing as well.
Yeah,
right?
well,
You weren't allowed in.
That happened first, and a lot of the people that in that room cleared out after the closed door session. They weren't even interested in the public session, but Gillibrand was, you know, and but also, you know, I look at everything that's going on with this. And you have, you know, Sean Kirkpatrick stepping down saying that basically a bunch of these UFO grifters, which I warned everybody about this same group of people. All these people, I've been warning everybody since 2018 about this group and saying like how these guys work for the Pentagon to disrupt the narrative and cover up real UFO stories. And one of those UFO stories happened last year. And I was just shocked and amazed that the likes of Jeremy Corbell, who floats around a jellyfish from Dimension X, won't touch Ashton Forbes's video. He won't touch it, not with a 10-foot pole. It was like...
Why was that?
He won't even touch the hashtag through a social media account, like, of the article. You know, it's like it doesn't exist.
Jellyfish from Dimension X. I love it. I'm using that.
Dude. And
with claims that he's got video of it going underwater, you know, the only important part that would actually verify a phenomenon. But I can't show you that. Only the part that looks like it's balloons or a drone, like.
And the part where it disappears in the sky too. Where's that at? I mean,
Jeremy, how did you feel about the wasted time so far in the past 2 weeks? Incredible on all the news stations.
The amount of news headlines. It's Operation Mockingbird in full gear, people, and they're ridiculing the heck out of this subject all over the media. They're using Corbell like a straw man and just beating the crap out of him like he represents ufology. And meanwhile, he ignores cases like
he does because he's got the TMZ contract. All right, it's what streams free on Tubi and Cowbell on Netflix.
Yeah, he's got all these shows on TV and distracting so many people with nonsense. But he won't touch Ashton Forbes' video. Why? Because it leads to the Espers, the infrared, space-based infrared satellite system that they had to film this thing with. That's a real system. That's classified information. They don't. That's why he won't touch it. The other one is the issue of the Edward Lynn, the guy who allegedly leaked the tape, and the 20 Freescale semiconductor scientists aboard that plane. All right,
That's always been weird. The semiconductor guys.
It is so weird that George Knapp has everybody digging and asking the government for that other half of the UFO video where the jellyfish goes in the water. That's where you need to be looking. That's where the evidence lies. It's like, this is PSYOPs 101. It's Operation Mockingbird.
Why do we need to be looking and digging for it if Cowbell already has it and it doesn't release it to us?
He's been on that video for a year, supposedly. He couldn't have dug that up this whole time or gotten it, you know? Like,
Jeremy and I have been studying this for years. George Knapp is the center of the wagon wheel. He really is. He is the center of the wagon wheel. If Corbell didn't work out, trust me, they just would have moved somebody else in there. It's very weird how it keeps going on. And Corbell just loves being in there. Boy, he loves that spotlight. And how about when he's going up the street, Jeremy, he's going like this, and he's like, I don't like UFOs. That was so funny, that part of the movie. You showed that to me. I was sitting here. I laughed so hard, man. Some of the stuff he said was just so bizarre, man.
Do you mind going over those emails again in a bit further detail? Was it originally John Lear that forwarded them first to you, Dan, or was it?
I'll put it real quick. Listen, just hold on a minute there. First of all, Tanya. It's nice to see you down there. How are you doing, dear?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We're doing great now that you're here. All these crazy guys in here. We need a beautiful woman in here to stir things up. Okay. Emmy, by the way, how are you doing? Are you all right?
I'm good, Dan. Thanks for asking.
Okay. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure everybody's okay because some people, you never know. All right. Here's what happened, Bernie, and this is very important a little bit. Since I'm 90 years old, I knew John Lear for 80 years. No, I'm not 90 years old, but John Lear knew me. So what happened was, it's very weird, man. Gene Huff had got an email from Jeremy Four Names Corbell. We used to call him Jeremy Four Names Corbell because his real name, this is no lie, his name is Jeremy Corbell Kenyon Lockyer. What is it? Was Jeremy Corbell Kenyon Lockyer something else, right?
No, it's Jeremy Kenyon Lockyer Corbell. So his real last name is
Four, right?
He's got the two middle names.
Corbell Lockyer. Yeah, it's four names. It's funny. So
weird.
Anyways, I get a message from John Lear, and it says, "Hey Dan, Four Names is sending this around." I'm like, "Oh boy, I gotta check this out." This is from Jeremy Corbell because we all called him Four Names, and so I'm reading this thing, and it's out of this world. It's from Gene Huff, and he wants to talk to me and Jeremy, and I was blown away. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, man, this is great!" I never was expecting to get this, and man, we get a hold of Gene Huff and he starts talking, and we read that damn thing where he is trashing us and saying, "Hey, it's mainly about Jeremy. Jeremy's filled with hatred, and he runs around with this hoodlum, Dan Bankert. Sometimes he's talking about me. I'm a hoodlum and stuff, a biker dude or something he calls me. I forget what, man." And I was just like, this is crazy. So anyways, read it and then sit it down the next day, open it up, read it again because it just had to go over it. So anyways, man, yes, Four Names got us involved in this a long time ago, threatened his life. I don't think my life was threatened, was it, Jeremy? My life wasn't threatened, was it?
Well, I remember one time you called me with you said the guys in the black SUV that chase you inside. You had to stick your head inside the freezer at the grocery store.
Oh yeah, that is a absolute true story, and I believe that was the I think that was Air Force intelligence, like a Richard Doty type thing that was going on. They were very tall and shit. That was so weird. That to this day I have no idea who did that to me. But anyways, no. What I was talking about was this attack. They threatened. I mean, Corbell threatened like you, didn't he? He said something like he wanted to do something.
Yeah, do you mind bringing it up, Jeremy, and rereading it for us? I believe it stated that it was from Jeremy Corbell to Bob Lazar, telling Bob Lazar that when he sees what Jeremy Reese has documented against Lazar, he is going to want to physically kill Jeremy, as if it's like notifying him that he's probably going to want to kill you because
I would have went out there on my bike and beat the crap out of all of them. But go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, he said he wanted to physically. He makes me want to physically kill me, and that. I shared that email on Twitter, and you know what? It is what it is. I don't like.
Yeah, he did. You gotta understand something,
dude. He's got a whole backstory, man. We went over it in that whole.
Don't start sharing his emails every night, man. He'll get pissed off. But okay, let's just talk about this real quick. So that's what happened. Do you understand what happened there, Tanya? Because you came in a little late. Emmy, do you understand what's going on? These people.
Oh yeah, I'm fully tuned into this. I know.
Genitolic. I'm not sure what that means. That's a pretty cool name, a genitolic. Does that mean your girlfriend's name's Jenna? Okay. I don't know. I'm looking at that, but anyways, yeah. So that's what happened, Bernie. And so anyways, we go from there. John Lear calls me on the telephone. I shit you not. I still have voicemails from John Lear on this phone. I can play for you. Ask Jeremy. Calls me on the telephone and says, "Hey man, Corbell's mad at you. I hate Corbell. your name came up. I'm like, my name came up. He goes, check your emails. Because I check my emails like once a month. Emails, old shit. I don't mess with that. I get on email and there's a thing on there, man. This is from like 2021, somewhere around there. It's, I was like, wow, I can't believe this. I thought Lear was losing it because Lear sometimes was losing his mind at that point. So anyways, yeah, I get on there and it's Jeremy Corbell talking shit about him and I get a hold of him right away. I'm like, you're not going to believe this. Who cares about what Corbell says? Gene Huff wants to talk to us, man. And he's like, bullshit. I'm like, I'm serious. Because I said his email is genehuff@cox.net. I'll never forget, right?
Like,
yeah.
Gene realized that, like, I was a scientist who was really doing a lot to try to figure out the science. And then we had really good questions about the Lazar story. And he's like, wow, you guys have really done your research on this case. And he was impressed. So, and you know, I guess Gene Huff absolutely hates Jeremy Corbell. So that's the whole reason he talked to us, because Jeremy sent that email telling him not to talk to us. So he's like, "Whoa, who are these guys?" So
he was so blown away that Jeremy Corbell just moved on to John Lear's couch. Listen to this: not for 6 months, not for 12 months, not for 2 years, 5 years. He moved on to John's couch, lived on John Lear's couch for 5 freaking years, man. I'm not sure about y'all, but I'm not living on anybody's couch.
So he said
I'm doing something with my life, man. I'm changing shit, you know.
He claimed that he did 9 years of research before he made the Bob Lazar flying saucer.
Yeah, that was a fucking lie, because
so
man,
5 of those sleeping on John's couch.
Half true, but it's really John Lear's story, and
but it's not true, Bernie. Listen, you don't understand something. I ran the Living fucking Moon. Livingmoon.com is a forum, okay, with all these guys. Zorgon, which was Ron Schmidt, he died. John Lear, we were all on there. We were moderators, everything. We all used to talk shit. I knew the inner circle like you wouldn't believe. Okay, ask Jeremy. I know him. I can get it on there. Listen to this. We hadn't had that forum running for 9 damn years, and 4 names didn't come around till about 2012, until I start hearing this guy named 4 names is obnoxious and all that shit. And here's what happened. One night at 2014, 2015-ish, they said, just message John's messenger and see what comes back. I'm like, okay, on a Friday night, I'm sitting here. I think I was putting a couple beers back in the day. And I messaged John Lear's messenger, and all of a sudden, immediately, it takes him like 3 days to answer, right? And there's this answer come back, don't make a damn bit of sense when it comes to John Lear, because I knew John Lear, and the way he would talk to me had nothing to do with the way that fucking thing was answered, right? I'm like, this is weird, man. So I kept messaging. I'm like, to the guys, I said, hey, man, is that his daughter doing that? What's going on? Did she lose it or what? No, it's this guy living on his couch named 4 names. I'm like, dude, why are they calling him 4 names? They're like, he's got 4 damn names. And I'm like, oh boy, man. So that is about the week when the guys all started bitching and said, we need to get 4 names off his couch. And he refused to leave. So we basically started making phone calls and stuff like that. And when he found out there was 5 or 6 of us who were going to come down to John's house and physically throw his ass out, even though he did martial arts, he started getting nervous and shit. We were pissed off. And he intended on selling John's house, didn't he, Jeremy? He was going to sell John's house, remember? It was ridiculous what he was going to do, man. But yeah, he's a fucking jerk. I'm sorry. He was just, the way he acted was terrible. I tried to message him and he would message me back. And I'm like, you're not John Lear, man. I said, I've known John for a long time. He doesn't even talk like this. And yeah.
When did he film that Immaculate Deception tape about John? It's like a 20-minute video. I've tried looking
20-minute video. Try if he put it together, it'd be 20 or 30 hours minimum, and that's edited.
Yeah.
He did that video from, I would say, 11 until probably 15, something like that, filming him at night all the time. John was so sick of having the camera in his face that he started going nuts and shit. He's like, I want that guy out of my damn house, man. And John, we all know John popped pills and shit like that, party and shit. So they finally got him out of there. And, you know, they had him to the point where, you know, John was getting ride homes and all that stuff. It was very bizarre, dude. They got Corbell out of there finally, and it took a long time. I think it took 5 years, man.
But that was his ticket to meet Bob Lazar, and that was his ticket to meet George Knapp and get in on where he like.
He even admits it too, doesn't he? Doesn't he kind of admit it in that stupid movie they're making about him on the?
So then, what happened with George Knapp after the Bob Lazar thing back in the 80s? Because
George Knapp took a nap. No, George Knapp.
The U.S. government picked him to be the guy to release all of the USSR's UFO files to the American public.
That's a weird story, because how did they get the picture of Papoose Lake where the fake base was, where Bob Lazar had the alien spaceships? Guess what? Russia just handed them over because, you know, they were doing this work with Russia. Remember, that was such shit. They got them pictures. They paid 10 grand for them. John Farhat paid for them. A guy that Bob and them know. John Farhat, it was his name. I know the whole story, man.
Didn't he do special effects for a movie?
He did special effects, and he's the guy that is in the video with Bob. Well, my hat, I'm sorry. With Bob, when Bob, it's crazy. Bob is showing off his Corvette car, and they're filming it. And they're trying to say that it runs strictly off hydrogen that he just made out of his own gasoline and stuff like that. And it still cost him how many more a gallon to run off gasoline, because he had to buy the gas to convert it into hydrogen. But yeah, that was John Farhat, and
he did the special effects for Forrest Gump.
Yeah, he's really good with special effects. Bob's not, but that whole thing was just crazy, man. I got involved in this so long ago, 2002. I was very young when I got involved in this, and I can't believe how old I am right now. I'm still involved in it. I'm just like, it's unbelievable. The only thing that's changed is Edgar Fouché's dead, and John Lear's dead, and Zorgon Ron Schmidt's dead. Yeah.
Zorgon ran the Living Moon for him, right?
Yeah, Zorgon was great, man. He was very smart. He was a Freemason and stuff, and he was really cool. He was a Knights Templar, I'm sorry. He was really cool, and I'm the one that told him to go to the hospital. He was not feeling good. Went to the hospital, called me on the phone. He got back. Hey, I just went to the hospital. I got a phone call the next day, and it was his daughter. She said, hey, I knew you kept tabs on my dad. I found my dad dead on the floor last night. That's sad. All these people died. It sucks. Gene Huff's getting old, you know, and Gene Huff is going to rattle on all these guys at the Bob Lazar stories a bunch of shit one day, man.
Did the spoofs just take Alien out or Jeremy out? Where'd he go?
I don't know. Jeremy.
There he's back. He's back. Ooh, you okay? I'm worried about you.
I'm checking out other stuff back.
Gene Huff was asking us to go out and set off a firework with John Lear's ashes in it.
Oh yeah, that's what he wanted us to do. Does any of you people live in Vegas out there? Is anybody from Vegas? Any of you? No one?
I guess I've been out there a lot though.
Tanya, you're not near Vegas or anywhere?
No. 3 hours away, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Area 51 by Reno.
We can't say anything now. I'm just kidding. Emmy, you're not near Vegas. Where are you at?
I'm right by Wright Pat Air Base.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
nowhere near Vegas.
Me. You live near me. Oh, we're fucked. You live near me.
You live a pool.
Yeah, we know where you live. You live in a pool near Livers.
That'd be like 4 a.m. in London right now.
Yeah, I would like to do that thing with John Lear's ashes, but maybe we should put them like in a bowl or something and smoke them. I don't know. Maybe that would be better off. Just kidding.
Lear was quite the party animal.
If anybody would like to ask some questions about the days with the John Lear stuff. Oh, and you know, the whole thing with Bob Lazar and them, there's a real crazy part of this story. The Bob Lazar brothel. I know a little bit about it. I know some stories about the Bob Lazar brothel. Bob was a pimp daddy from Cincinnati. I shit you not. He had a brothel. And
is it legal in that state though?
No, there's no legal brothel. And how many places do you know in the United States you got whorehouses, man? Come on.
Rhode Island.
They're not all, do you? Well, the day I have to go do something like that, I'm in trouble. Okay. But I am getting older though, so maybe who knows. But let's what we're gonna say. I'm laughing and shit.
It was legal. It was like here in Las Vegas were the only two places in the country that were legal prostitution. It's because of the mob.
Okay. All right. Oh, it's because of the mob? Yeah, you had the Gambinos up where you were at. They ran the damn government, you know. But
hold on, the government is built from the mob. Don't kid yourself there.
Wait a minute. What did you just say about what? What did you just say there, dude? The government's built.
The American government is a mob. There you go.
Well, basically. Yeah, of course. Look what's going on. A fucking pack of gum costs $48. Gas, you have to take a loan out to get gas. Like, and you go get gas and shit. There's a guy alone. There's a guy sitting there and shit. You know, you fill a loan slip out and shit to get gas now, dude. It's so expensive. You have to you take a loan out to get, you know. Did you know that, Master Ion? Did you know that shit?
It's just Mr. Ian.
Yeah, I remember you were with me.
You can see that the gangsters in America are only.
Remember you and me were on the
in competition with the government, who were just more powerful gangsters.
Remember those nuts the other night? First, there was a guy that was talking to a fucking 9-foot tall alien that took a picture of it. And then that kid said people were following him 500 to 1,000 miles around the United States. I rolled, man. I got out of there when that shit was going on. But
we looked
some stuff, you know.
Was it Stuart? It was Stuart, the Scottish fellow, wasn't it?
Yeah,
are you talking about Bim Jim?
JW, and I didn't.
Oh yeah, Nim Jim.
I put his description into AI and got it to produce AI pictures of JW as he was telling us the story, and then putting them up on the page, and it was shutting him up, mate. It was really, it was illustrating what he was saying didn't make sense.
This guy, right, said, "Hello, how everybody's doing?" This is all he said, and it was a group like us. He would not let any of us talk. It was incredible how he took over, like he was an alien. How about Jeremy got pissed and left, and it was his show? He had SpongeBob or whatever you want to call it, or Page Bob hairstyle. It went down like this and it curled up, but that wasn't his hair. It was a picture of him, because he said that right there's an 8-foot tall alien that I took a picture of. He goes, that I've known for 30 years. He said, and that alien, what did he say? That alien I still talk to this day. And I'm sitting there listening to this, and I'm like, wow, this is a fascinating story. But then you just realize it starts to really fall apart, and you start asking questions and shit. The guy was so full of shit.
I had a guy that had me going for a little while. He emailed me, and he said that he had found some missing book from the Bible through his scriptures research, and that it was a book, How to Summon Aliens. And
I'm going to find a picture of him for her.
And he sent it to me with all these things. You have to like lay out the burning ropes and stuff, and like, oh my god! And then he says then he started telling me he went to the Vatican, and they started trying to set it up there in the middle of the plaza, and they all got arrested by the Vatican police.
What was his name again? Swim Jim?
Or what? Trying to summon an angel or demon trans-dimensional entity like the Mormons or John Dee or who else has done that through history?
Can someone tell me what his name
was? Crowley did it.
Crowley
did it with another bloke locked into a room, and apparently when they opened the room,
was it Slim Jim?
Crowley was in a corner shaking.
Bro, what was his name? It was Slim Jim, or what was it, man?
It was Bim Jim. I put it in the chat.
Vim. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. I'll find him.
It was Bim Jim. Bim Jim something,
right.
wasn't it? Yeah.
I said slap into a Bim Jim and shit. And he got pissed off, and then he was gone like 5 minutes later. Hours, man. Oh, here's the picture of him. Anybody wants to see it? Listen, anybody wants to laugh. This was him, and he swore this was an 8-foot tall alien with a mask on. Here's the link down in here. It's his YouTube channel, and it's a picture of an alien with a mask on. I just posted it below this Bim Jim. Click on that link.
It was like, if you've ever watched someone interview Michael Horn, It was very much like that, because as soon as you disagreed with him, he called you stupid.
Oh yeah, look at that picture. Look at that YouTube page, and that blonde hair guy says an 8-foot tall alien. It's funny as hell, man.
Why is everybody so obsessed with aliens and crafts? Like, shouldn't it be about like the science that would change the world? Like, that's something that bugs me out about all these UFO celebrities and everything. It's like that's what gets the attention.
Yes.
But
are you joking, Ashton? You're the one that has the fucking MH370 channel. How could you bitch about other people are bitching about it or talking about aliens? Oh my God, you're on every night.
It's not that I'm against the idea of aliens. It's just it seems so inconsequential to my life. It's like, sure, if they're out there, are they going to come down and give me a new job? Are they going to gas prices go down? Like, what will change our reality is if we have different sources of energy. We don't need gas anymore, right? Like to your point before.
I don't know, but I hear a crow.
How free energy is rolled out to human beings is very difficult, because obviously you can't give humans free energy because there are lunatics out there that will use it to hurt us with.
Exactly. I like you.
And flying cars. The 9/11 incident proved that's why we can't have flying cars, because everyone would fly them into buildings.
What is this? That's free energy.
These are the symbols that summon the aliens.
Great. Thank you for that.
The symbols that summon the aliens.
Oh my God, I know that girl. I went to high school with her. Not high school. I met her. She's from the town I'm in. That sentence to Beth, I shit you not. Listen, me and her met on here. She literally lives in the town I live in, and Bernie shows from Canada. That is crazy, dude. Ask her. That sentence to Beth. That's crazy, man. I met her like a month ago on
We're getting thirsty in the chat here.
I see some good stuff in the chat, but there's stuff going on.
Yeah, this is the crazy stuff I get sent, dude. It's pretty nuts.
Where is this show at? I don't even know what this show's called. Let me see.
Ask him if he's ever.
What are they calling that? The book of
Bernie. Hi, Bernie. Love you.
It's being called the Book of Aliens or something.
Oh, look at her ignoring me. Hey, sense to Beth. Oh, hi, Solar. I live here, Solar.
There's apparently the Book of Wars, which was taken out of the Bible. The Book of Wars. We're not allowed to see that.
Where's that other girl at?
Well, how about the Book of Wars by Smedley Butler?
Yeah. Tanya, what is Tanya's name? Tanya
That's the good one.
Schneider. I like the name. What do you do, Tanya? Tell us a story. Have you seen aliens and stuff?
I've seen some pretty crazy stuff, but right now I have a really big meteorite.
That, do you?
Yeah. And I wanted to see if you wanted any of that material, Jeremy.
Oh yeah,
I'll take some of it because I'm on my way right
with
now.
Telescope, Tanya.
That stuff's worth money, if you can catch.
Yeah, I know, but to who? Because I can't sell any of it right now.
Depends on which way,
I don't know. I just get shot down everywhere I go. But I have test results and
good.
The analysis, but I just haven't been able to read it myself. Of course, I don't know how to read that, but I wanted to see if maybe you wanted some of that, Jeremy, and the analysis and everything else, because it's too big. I'm getting tired of babysitting it. It's huge.
Well, there you go, dude. Check. She's got all this stuff. Was you were on the other week, weren't you? I think you were on the other, weren't you? Were you on the other week?
Probably in the chat watching you guys.
This is great. She's got parts of freaking my meteor, dude. You got to take her up on that.
I put it in AI, all the elements, and as far as I know, AI said it is one. So I don't know.
Is there any platinum and stuff in those things?
So there's some backstory here, Dan. Let me just because we already did. We had a video on this a while back, and I interviewed a meteorite scientist who looked at a piece of this too, and he said it was like a piece of steel, and it came from Mira Loma, which is like where there's a lot of steel yards and stuff. So I was just under the conclusion that it wasn't an actual meteorite. It was just a piece of slag iron from a steel yard. So
no,
well, if she grabbed it from the ground, it's probably hard. I mean, how can you differentiate? Where'd you get it at?
My dad got it. My dad got it a long time ago, and I accidentally hit it with a magnet. It stuck, and and that's when I started checking into it. And Jeremy, I sent you some pieces. I thought you guys did some tests on there, didn't you?
You know,
you ran tests on it, right?
Yeah, I ran a couple different tests on it, and you know, I did what's called spark plasma spectroscopy on it, and I you know, so I got the results from that, and it didn't look to be anything, you know, from space in that test that we did. And then I had another test that had been done. We had sent some pieces to that. I forget the name of the. I can go look this up. This is a while ago.
Yeah.
But you haven't. You've sent it to. You've gone to other scientists who are experts in meteors, right? And you've.
No, I didn't. I actually didn't. I had it tested up in San Jose, and it came back with they couldn't give me a direct answer because
pretty fucking good.
There was properties in there that were unrecognizable. That they didn't know what they were. So I mean, I have the analysis from it, but like I said, I can't read it. But
unrecognizable stuff myself.
Is there any way you could take a good quality picture of it, email it so that we could all take a look? Because we've got people here.
Yeah,
I have some of the pictures from that you sent me from a couple of years back.
Pictures would be analysis. I'm assuming you have a printed copy or you have a digital copy.
Of course, I could do that. Where do you want me to email it?
Jeremy, you want to just send it to you? We can pop them up on the screen. Because here's the big thing about meteorites, it's very difficult to tell just from metallurgical analysis to identify the elements. You can't simply tell by looking at what metals are in there. What you can do is look at the crystalline structure. See, there's a particular structure that we cannot make on Earth. It's a it's a triangular type of three-dimensional sort of hexagon point crystal, and it only forms in 0G. You cannot make it on Earth because of the gravitational field gradient. So if that crystalline structure is inside there, we know for sure it came from space.
I know that there was a metallurgist that Bob Barish was talking to that said it came from Mars. So that it was a Mars meteorite. I never sent you that picture, did I, Jeremy? I know.
The other thing too to look for in non-terrestrial objects is the isotope ratio. It doesn't matter if it's 100% iron, because iron on Earth is going to have a certain spin isotope abundance ratio of its odd nucleon spins, and so if that ratio isn't the same as our earthly iron, then it indicates it's from somewhere else. And that works even if you lose the crystal structure and melt it down, you still have that isotope.
For argument's sake, so it's the isotope, it's not just the spin. So, for instance, if there was a high altitude plane explosion and metal was melted on the plane, which was spun off, as it's molten and spun, would that not create a similar?
If the metal was molten and it dropped to Earth, it could create the same crystalline structure, but it would still be made only of the abundance ratios of, say, like, I have to look at the chart to figure out what the abundance of iron is, but some materials have 100% odd nucleons, meaning that there are more, in the nucleus, there are more neutrons than protons or less neutrons than protons. Generally, elements, they're balanced, but a lot of elements have a percentage of their content of their mass that has an extra neutron or a lack of neutron. And so we have a pretty good idea about what materials are on Earth. Say, if our iron is 98% one isotope and 2% the other, just as an example, that's not what it is. If we get something from space and say it's like 40% one isotope and 60% the other, that's not going to be from Earth. Unless, of course, it was concentrated from materials on Earth. But that's not something that you can do with any of today's technology. You would have to have something that could literally sift out to same mass materials and isolate just the nucleons that were different. We don't have a way to do that yet.
Welcome, Tim.
Hey, are we talking about UFOs? I heard nucleons. I think you're letting Pop drag you off on a tangent again.
I do have a tendency for that.
Yeah, let's.
Welcome to all you guys. How are you all doing tonight? Is there
in the morning here?
Better now.
Are there new congressional hearings or are we just talking about the ones that have already kind of come?
Yeah,
we're discussing the ones that already have come, and we're projecting and aiming what we want the next ones to be. And that instead of it being George Knapp and Jeremy Cowbell, we got Tim Ventura and Jeremy Reese there doing the actual reporting, right?
Yes, Tim Ventura is my mentor in anti-gravityology.
You need better mentors, sir.
I want conspiracy hearings into the technology. Isn't that better than alien bodies?
Well, it's interesting thing is that Kirkpatrick said that most of the stuff is classified programs, and he didn't think any of it was aliens. He said most of the stuff looks like classified programs, which, again, Arrow did not have Title 50 authority, which means they didn't have access to like NRO or CIA projects or any of that stuff. And I'm sure there's people like me and others that approach them and were like, hey, there's this project going on, there's this project going on, there's this project, you got to look into this stuff. And he realized, very quickly that, there's crazy technologies. There's trillions of dollars missing from the American budget, and nobody knows where it went. So like the technologies that we have out there are, probably more responsible for what's flying around in our skies than aliens. The people saying it's aliens so that they can get another TV show on TMZ or whatnot.
Dude, let me tell you something, Jeremy. That shit's all jumped the shark. People are not looking into the TV shows or any of that shit anymore. You didn't notice that? Doesn't look like it to me, man.
Well, they're grifting it. They're grifting it like in the same fashion as like TMZ, Netflix sort of thing. It's the same individuals, the same faces that have only ever been allowed to bring the story in, that they're claiming they're bringing the truth, when in fact it's like, oh, look, I'm Lou Elizondo, I'm an actual intelligence agent for the,
well, he ruined himself by saying all that dumb shit, man. Right? Then you think Lou ruined himself, right? I mean,
well, so Sean Kirkpatrick is he left Arrow in December, right? I think, and so then I think is Kathleen Hicks. I think she is the interim in charge. Or wait, there's somebody was appointed to take his place, weren't they?
Yeah. You're right, Tim. I hate to say this, I don't follow that stuff because that stuff is just such a bunch of crap. But yeah, somebody did.
Yeah, and I forgot. I believe it was like the second in charge of the organization temporarily was promoted, and
they're taking. It's always something going. I think it was Johnny.
Wait, is that Aiden? Oh, that is Aiden.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. He went with us.
Oh, that's the one from last summer. Okay.
Oh, look, his hair's all pulled back and shit. That is him. I think Johnny Depp is taking the field over in here.
Oh, and there's Jeremy right there. This is last summer.
Yeah. That actually went really good, Jeremy, because you thought they were going to come tackle you and stuff. Remember that? I was like, dude, you're all right, man. You had to piss real bad too, didn't you?
I wish I was dressed like in a suit and tie, and I wish that I had a better cameraman.
In 2024, you will be, and this year you'll be back. And what's the main company that you told the senator that he needs to look into that has all of like the nano material?
He told me to go to Wright Patterson. Wait a minute. He said go to. You told him what school to go to. That school, Jeremy. It's right next to Wright Patterson. What's it called? You're always talking about it.
This is the one. Hold on.
Never mind. You know what I'm talking about.
You're not talking about Battelle Memorial, are you?
Battelle, he said, and that guy looked at him weird when he said that.
Exactly.
Because Jeremy, his favorite word was Battelle for like 6 months, man.
I'm interested if there's links between Battelle and Diego Garcia contracts, potentially Battelle and Antarctica contracts, as well as Battelle and Hawaii potential contracts.
Jeremy really hit it out of the park with this presentation, didn't he? I mean, this is big. Like, this is awesome, but it's like big. There's like heft to this.
Oh, okay. You mean when he was down there? Okay. I didn't know what was going on.
No. This is the one I put together for the Senate Intelligence Select Committee on Intelligence, where I said, we're going to, because part of the big thing is how do we brief our senators on what's going on, because we have guys like Dan Warren who went down. I don't know how he did this, because I've called my senators up. I got to call them more.
They were waiting for you to come in, dude. I'm serious.
I just got to keep calling them and bugging them and be like, look, we need to set up a meeting, because, Dan Warren can get in there and go to this senator and get him on the map, do an hour-long interview with him. Man, why can't I go in there I'll have a pile of documents. I'll have this whole presentation printed out in a pile of documents where just everything is there for them and all the sources, and I'd have to print out 1,000 papers too to give them the whole drive and the whole.
You're right, man.
Everything, but man, could you imagine me going to my local congressman or senator and dropping off a package and doing an hour-long briefing discussion with them?
A package. What if you save it as a PDF?
Or if you can load an hour video that they can stream through Tubi that pops up next to the stupid TMZ as an actual, sitrep pack video for them, right? Like,
there you go.
Check Bernie out. Something's up there. He's got it.
I would do PDF. That's the safest for distribution, right? PDF is the standard.
I'm sure it is.
Email distributable.
What do you do, my friend from Ireland over there? I haven't heard any much from you tonight. Normally you're filled with answers. What do you do? Do you PDF or do you fucking throw it, or what do you do, bud? Over there in Ireland.
PDF's the way to.
Who's in Ireland?
What's his name over there? I can't see his name now. I know it. He's probably mad at me because I fucked his name. He's not from Ireland, I bet you. I can't see it anymore.
My British friend Ian.
Who?
Yeah,
Me?
Ian. I thought he was from Ireland, man. I'm sorry. What?
I think they do PDFs in Ireland.
I'm not from Ireland, to be sure. Sorry about that.
What's that? I knew I fucked up. I'm sorry. What happened now?
You haven't fucked up. You're right, mate.
You don't have to answer me, dude. I insulted you. I apologize.
No, you didn't.
Sentence to Beth out there knows I don't sleep much since I had my finger chopped off, and the neighbors and shit tried to shoot me every day with a machine gun. There's a lot of shit going on over here. All that's a lie except chopping my finger off. What were you going to say now? The guy.
While we still have you, I'm very interested in your guys' experiences with John Lear, with Gene Huff, and because in the emails you read before, it was Gene Huff that he was excited, was it, of the guy that was building the 3D Area 51? So it's like, does he believe this is true as well, or who was the original guy? And
the 3D Area 51 thing is a guy named Luigi. You can look his Facebook or YouTube channel up right now. I'm not kidding you. With Bob Lazar. If you type in Bob Lazar, and I'm pretty sure his name's Luigi, they've got over $1 million just to the website alone. And they're creating a 3D, if you will, with goggles and shit, S4 that you walk in there and stuff like that. And, they're going for it. And supposedly they think they're telling the truth, but everyone knows it's not. But, yes, this guy is like, they were on one side of Papoose Lake, and then they went the whole other side. It's crazy what they're doing, but man, it's going to be a lot of money, but it's going to be really cool because it's being done in the computer, and it's being done with the goggles that make it. What are those goggles called?
In VR, virtual reality.
Yeah, virtual reality and stuff like that. Because if you ever see anybody run around look like they're on acid and shit, and people wearing them, it freaks them out. Well, wait till people start seeing alien spaceships and shit flying all over the place. There's somebody's gonna get hurt.
Like that before, but yeah.
I'd like to see it, but again, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened, and we just don't know if this is going to fly through. Because do you think the government's really going to open up S4 for Christ's sakes if it exists? I don't think so.
Hey, you know what's funny, right? Is that we know that Gene Huff was interviewed for like 3 hours because he told me this.
He was pissed off. The interview was so long, right? So he told me.
You know what he said? He said the only way he would do an interview and be part of this film is if Corbell wasn't involved in any way at all.
Yeah, and he is. He's involved in all aspects of it.
Okay.
It's a shame.
Yeah, huh? I wonder.
So my prediction is this is going to be a giant year for UFOs, and this may even be the year for disclosure. And the reason I say that
Wow, I
is,
appreciate that.
well, so what I've kind of noticed, right, is we seem to have some kind of a something every 3 or 4 months. It seems like, you know, and so
Yeah.
this last one was the UAP, the NDAA 2024.
Your testicles, we don't know.
They're gonna shoot an extra testicle down during the Super Bowl, and
Here's the thing, dude. It's all turning into cartoonish like shit, and nothing is going to be real. I honestly believe the sons of bitches are going to have a ride down at Disney World here soon.
Probably. Well, okay, but
I think
then
that's what they're shooting for, dude. The guy spent $1 million. Luigi spent $1 million of his own damn money down there. You know how much meth and shit he could have bought? He could have had a hell of a
I
party.
would be down
But,
for Disneyland transportation.
my thought though is that this year it looks like it's going to be Trump versus Biden again, and so it's going to be so crazy that UFOs will be the most sane thing out there. The media will run to that. They need something that's normal, right? So
Yeah.
UFOs are real. That'll be like the puff piece. That'll
Yeah.
be the normal piece,
right,
you know.
exactly, yeah. Like,
So-
okay.
Because this year is going to be freaking weird.
Yeah, it's already gotten weird, and
It's getting weird.
jellyfish UFOs. I mean, come on now.
I'll say this much. I was getting ready to say, guess what? The tempo of the year is always started out by Jeremy Corbell, dude. If you think about it, every year that guy has something going on right at the beginning of the year. They set the tempo, they set everything, and everybody else can go fuck themselves. And I don't understand it. Something weird is going on again with those clowns. I
Yeah.
don't know.
They don't care about the grassroots. They don't help smaller
It's all
channels.
about them and his
They're not
fucking.
part of this community. They're like they're like these big outsiders who think they're better than everybody else, but really they're behind the scenes. They're talking all about us, but they won't mention us publicly. That's the thing that gets.
Yeah, George called me on
They
my
won't dare.
and and I got off and started talking to him. It was all about Jeremy and me against him and shit. And Corbell, and I was like, dude, and it was so stupid. What was it about, Jeremy? It was about eating like something stupid, man. It was like, I forget, it was like peeling something and eating something. I forget, a contest or something. It was ridiculous, man. They would have won probably, but I don't know. It was something ridiculous. What was that, Jeremy? Because I called you, remember?
I don't know, but
Stupid, dude.
it can't be worse than George Knapp covering Desert Blast for 3 years and then pretending like he didn't know Bob Lazar.
Yes, and you know what? They all have to. What's that guy saying? Silver, take a nap, dude. I did get up at 5 and went to work. But I don't take naps for anybody. Now I lost my damn train of thought. Go ahead. People bitching me to take a nap. Fucking ridiculous. Go ahead.
Take a George Knapp, man.
No, I get pissed off. Let me ask you something, Richard Wynn or whatever your name is. Why don't you come in, Dick Wynn, and have a good time? Come on in and talk to us.
Lines,
We're trying to keep some shit going here. Come on in, Dick Wynn.
You can dish it out. You can take some abuse too. Come on,
Yeah,
jump
you can
on.
take some abuse too. Corbell, come on, Dick Wynn. Come on in. So I took a fucking nap earlier.
I'll need a nap.
That last piece of information you gave, Jeremy, about George and covering Desert Blast, and
you knew what was wrong with me. You wouldn't say anything to me like that, man. I have some physical shit going on right now, so.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on there, man. Because they saw it was Lear and it was Gene Huff and Bob Lazar, and they were watching Lear on KLAS, getting all the attention, and they were like, "Holy crap!" This UFO stuff. So they were all into it too, man. Anybody, Tanya, if you want to send me the new data that you got, please, you can email it to me. I'll take a look at it. And anyone who else has any information or evidence, you can please send it to us. We've interviewed more scientists, more of the real people, and we're going to continue to dig into this topic and give you guys, the real scoop.
Yeah.
And sorry, while I have y'all here, Ashton and Tim, that the work that Ashton has done connecting with Sal Pius, Bob Greenier, Dave Rossi, and all of what they've put forward in regards to the orbs and this technology, and that it's potentially also this Tic Tac drone technology, I would recommend or suggest maybe we can do a full APEC themed with all of those guests and each one with their info on it, possibly.
Yeah, maybe. Well, Ashton, do you want to, maybe if you could shoot me kind of an email, let me know, and we could try and pull something together.
Absolutely. I think I'm following you on Twitter. I can DM you. You can send me your email unless it's public.
Yeah, and let me apologize for not. I kind of dropped the ball and fell behind on the MH370 thing also, because I know that was kind of a big story, and I just got behind on everything.
No, don't take it. I don't take it personally at all. I'm sitting here talking about planes teleporting away. I don't really expect a lot of people to take me seriously, but
oh no,
it kind of reached a big point.
I'm in post-holiday recovery mode, man. What is it? It's January 25th. I'm slow, but it's.
I appreciate you, though, Tim. I've seen a lot of your work, and you do good stuff, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, over the break, like for a lot of, I was just like, because it's so quiet during the holidays, right? So it was like, okay, I'm trying to get this scheduled and that scheduled, and then everybody responds all at once. So for like the last 3 weeks, I've just been like drowning in emails and stuff like that. But there's a lot going on, and I have a feeling. I mean, again, I bet you probably March we'll see God knows what, but it'll be something,
Yeah, I think it's been pretty incredible just connecting with all these scientists,
It's
engineers,
gonna be a portal
physicists that I've been
somewhere.
talking to about a lot of this stuff because I've been watching some of these APEC presentations, and I'm going, wow, like it really feels like this technology is just out there, and the public's just completely oblivious to it because everybody's too busy talking about jellyfish aliens and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's easy to get distracted.
Look at the silly monkey.
And I think it's exactly part of the plan for to keep. I mean, it's just this Congress is just a crap show, and these politicians in general, it's to try to keep them corralled in an information quarantine and keep them far away from the realization that there's trillions of dollars missing from the budget, and every year it's like it's in the billions, and if you don't count the money that they launder through the drug cartels and the banks, the banks launder billions and billions of dollars. They get caught, they pay a couple $100 million fine. It's like a slap on the wrist. It's like the price of doing business, it's called. So
Jeremy, we're being massively distracted at the moment. A lot of the rich and the elites have bunkers being built at the moment with a completion date of November 2024, with something called the event happening in early 2025. So lap up all the UFOs you like, because
Well,
if I was going to take a guess, I mean, I've seen things going both ways, but it looks like war is coming our way. I don't like to say that, but that's
they're calling it the event. They're calling it the event, and it might be a freeze off. That's what they're thinking. It's because things are getting.
I vote no for nuclear winter. No nuclear winter.
I'm not saying nuclear, but
nuclear winter. Yes,
so like 3 days ago, 3 days
ago.
Pole
flip. How about the pole flip?
Well, exactly. Yeah, maybe.
Well, it could be something like
They're
that.
calling it the event, and you try Googling the event 2025, you just get every single dance event, every club event, and it's so well masked. It's horrible. So it may well be a conspiracy, but it's
There's a 6-story building built beneath Denver Airport, and there's tunnels out of there going somewhere. So I know that.
It's funny, they make fun of it. I've flown through Denver a lot of times, but I have a quick question for you guys in terms of like, do you guys try to reach out to the congressmen and senators in general? Because I feel like that's an avenue that's untapped, right? As I've seen some of them now, they realize that this topic is something where they can get some publicity. I saw Congressman Burleson. We've seen Burchett out there a lot. Like, so to your point, Jeremy, it's like, how do we get them on board to like realize like, hey, we need to be looking at these black budget projects? Like, I feel like the information's out there to like push that ball forward, but it's just no one's picking it up.
I think that my feeling is they're well aware of it. I've tried to reach out to my senators and representatives. The problem is, like, I live in Washington State, and that's not a focus area for them, right? And so it's not that they're against it, it's just that that's not their priority, and they're just kind of like, you get a pat on the head at the most, right? They're like, okay, good boy, go home, we heard your email. But like, now, for people who are in Burchett's district and things like that, that would probably be really valuable because it's a vote of confidence in what he's doing. And I'm sure that people who are in those districts and in those states probably are reaching out. But then my other thought too is, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And there, again, last year, I mean, this is just my perception, but David Grush was a shot across the bow. And I don't know what that means, but I know for me, that was pretty mind blowing. It was like we had this UAP narrative and Tic Tacs and Nimitz, and everybody's kind of moving forward. And it's like, it's like, ha ha ha, it could be aliens, but maybe not, and then all of a sudden
he put on the clock, like the official clock, that hey, yes, they've shown up, it's actually true, they came throughout history at the nuclear warheads, like it's beyond our technology, it's actually really been going on for decades, sort of thing, multi-decades.
And I I don't think it was ignored. I think it's, well, government is slow as heck to do anything, but but then, I mean, I have a feeling that more is coming. And and again, just based on what I've seen in the past, it seems like every 3 or 4 months, about once a quarter, we have something. I mean, last year we had the balloon shoot downs earlier in the year. Remember that, with F-16s shooting down Chinese spy balloons, and then
more drone-like than any jellyfish balloon that the cowbell put forward, right? Like, why didn't we get a single picture or video of those? One sounding, or a couple sounding star or Tic Tac, like, right?
If you're being conspiratorial, right? There people have said there's a disclosure timeline. If we're taking the conspiratorial view, you could look at this and say, okay, they're letting this out at a pace that people can absorb, and that would make sense. I mean, because last year it was definitely a buildup. It was like boom, 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 then drop the bomb, and it's going to take people time for that to kind of sink in. That, or if you're not conspiratorial, you still have a lot of folks out there who, like, in Congress, and people who are pushing on different things. It's going to take time for them to kind of percolate through, right? Like
233 days 233 days since Grush announced, and still no evidence. So exactly what you're saying there, Tim.
Well, and supposedly all of his evidence is there. Then there's this question of who can see it, and that part I don't get. But
yeah, I talked to the AARO representative, and the person told me, because we had a conversation, and I asked about the shoot downs in February, and he kind of gave me the same Kirkpatrick line that, it was just balloons or something. And I'm sitting here going, like, I heard the NORAD commander literally say they weren't calling them balloons because they didn't know how they were floating. But so it's just like, I can't tell what the psyops are and who's telling the truth anymore regarding any of this stuff.
The cube within the clear balloon sphere.
Yeah, that was
radio reflectors.
Ryan Graves, right?
Apparently, radar reflectors. Yeah, it's an existing design.
Jack Sarfati said that was also similar to what's called a Visser sphere. So, I don't know.
Yeah, Matt Visser.
But I do think that going after the government in terms of the politicians is a move that, I mean, people in the chat are going, the politicians can't do anything, whatever. But like what they do is they get in front of the media, right? Like we're seeing more and more media attention on it. And I think, you know, even to Tim's point, yes, they kind of like pat you on the head and they send you on your way. But like if you kind of use them against themselves, which is what do they want? They want to be reelected. They want attention, right? It's like, there you go. We're getting this thing that's starting to get into the public sphere. People are starting to pay attention to it. And you can kind of attack it that way. We're like, hey, you might be able to get a little bit of clout here if you know, make a statement on this, do an interview with somebody who like knows what they're talking about. And then we can guide the discussion away from jellyfish aliens or whatever.
That's
and
the
towards
problem.
like
No one knows what the fuck they're talking about. They just don't. Nobody knows anything. They just don't. The private industry don't know anything. Government don't know anything. Even the whistleblowers don't know anything anymore. They have to ask fucking questions about what happened 25 years ago. It's ridiculous, man. I don't know where we're headed.
Somebody,
most
somebody
politicians are sponsored, aren't they? If a politician wants to run a big election rally, they have to pay for that rally. And
I will never.
A big corporation, as long as they mention them or make, you know, the suggestion that.
Ian, when's the best? What's the best whistleblower that you ever can recall in your lifetime? Because you come from over across the pond. I'm very interested to hear this.
I can only go by who I've met, and I've got to say Gary McKinnon.
Gary McKinnon, for real?
Poor lads to have found what he found. He wasn't looking for that. He was just.
I'm blown away by that.
You know what I mean?
It's officially acknowledged as the largest U.S. like data breach, governmental data safety breach in history to this day. Was still
Gary McKinnon. What about that other guy? When they made the movie about, he's living in Russia now.
You're talking about Edward Snowden, but one UFOs and the other one is. Let me just. Can I ask you a question, Ian? Are you saying that because you met him on the show, or do you really feel that? I mean, be serious.
No, I really feel that. I really feel that. I think he's massively undervalued for what he picked up on, and the deal that it's not a glamorous thing. That they're like submarines, basically. It makes sense. It makes sense that if the military, like, look at what happened with the ocean, with the Titanic submarine thing recently. Yeah, the entire world was on the edge of their seats waiting to see whether these guys would live or die. They've only got 13 hours of oxygen. They've only got 7 hours of oxygen. Will we find them in time? Yeah. Can you imagine?
You're talking about the guy that's sunk in the submarine that didn't sink. Is that what you're talking about?
The submarine that exploded, and they
pressurized vessels, aren't they? Basically, it's a long.
Well, I mean, it was them guys were dead for a long time. They lied about it. They
right. So, what if we have the same thing happening? What if we have the same thing happening, and it's a covert mission to Mars to check whether the Russians have got a base on Mars, or to check if the Russians have got a base on the moon, or the Chinese, or whoever our competitor is at the time. That's why the space race exists and why we send people up there. But we don't tell the public everything, because if
there's some
three
things
guys
that the public are better off.
Did
you know that? There's some things that the public are better off not
knowing. Yeah, exactly.
I know some shit that they don't know that surprised me. I'm like, you don't know that? No, don't ever say it. And it's just like, to me, it's no big deal. But there's some things that the government does not allow the public to know. And
you know, the dog that got killed in space, was it Leica? The first.
You mean
dog.
the one that damn that Elon Musk put up in the air?
The Russian dog, one of the first animals in space. Leica, it was called, and she died. So she got up there, everything was fine. They recorded all the dog in space bit, and on the way down, the oxygen failed, and she got toasty on re-entry.
They don't replay stuff like that much, so you forget about it. You know what I mean?
If that happened today, we would have animal rights protesters up in arms, and there would be no more rockets going up because of woke society.
I mean, did they show the thing like burning up and everything? That's awful. It's fur and stuff. I didn't see it. See it. I apologize. I don't know nothing about it. I don't pay any. Listen, I used to watch TV and stuff all the time. I watch the news and stuff. I don't get into the craziness anymore because TV has gotten so awful because the internet's taken over, and there's got to be something better out there.
Produce whatever I want to see. I don't need to watch what's being programmed on me.
Well, if you have a chick over or something, it helps having a fucking TV, doesn't it?
Yeah, if
TV
if I could add
programs.
briefly to that, in terms of TV, this for me, this goes back like 20 years, but I'm sure you guys probably remember after September 11th, right? They ran the towers on every news channel over and over and over and over.
Yeah, they did.
And my my ex-wife and I ended up watching Food Network because that was the only thing that was like peaceful and relaxing, you know. And but I think it's really important stuff. Like again, especially this year with this election cycle coming up and all of the crap that's going to be on TV, like you want to take care of your mental health, right? You don't want to
It's
just
hard, brother. Go ahead.
Stop consuming entertainment and start creating
Tim,
entertainment.
you brought something up interesting. I've had a lot of mental health issues ever since the COVID thing went down because so many of my friends just don't even come out of the house anymore. It's like, what do you do, man? What do you do? Are you guys experiencing this stuff? I know Jeremy has had friends that don't come out and stuff anymore. What do you do? I mean, it's crazy, man.
You
I think
have
you just
to
have to
get out
support.
and hike yourself and video call them from the top of the mountain. Be like, "Yo, you got to be here on the next one, right?"
No, you've
Mountain,
got to.
you all get shot. Go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
I think you've got to support. I
Ah.
think you've got to support emotionally support the people around you, try and get them engaged. I mean, you know, so I just turned 48, and so I'm middle
Damn, you
aged
look
now.
good, man.
Well, thank you. And but you know, one of the things I'm seeing
52,
is
bro. We're up there.
yeah, and you know, when you get older, right? Like you start to see. I mean, people start
I'm
getting health
53.
issues.
Are you
53.
not?
Oh,
You're older
you're
than me,
gone,
really?
dude. It's all over. So you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like even if you're doing great, the people around you are struggling, and that's something that I'm seeing. And it's like, what can you do? All you can do is try and support them and try and get them engaged because a lot of folks are struggling. They're struggling with depression. They're struggling with medical issues. They're struggling with like cancer and things like that. And you know, I mean, it's like what can we do? All we
2024, we have to make the year of the blue orb and figuring out that plasma that supposedly heals cancer. Let's get
It's
that
all to
one
do
done
with
in
our
this
society.
community.
Very
Hey,
much our
Mr.
society. If
48
you when you are well, you are living with ease, and when you are not, you are living with dis-ease.
You know, Tim, I had a.
Is.
I'm sorry. Tim, I had a serious accident, and Jeremy will tell you. Last year, dude, I was doing great at my job. I loved it. And last year, dude, the most oddest fucking thing happened. I had a trip scheduled to go on this $10,000 boat ride with this chick I was dating. And on the 9th, I believe it was, of December last year, the 10th, I can't remember, chopped my fucking finger off at work at 10:25 at night, man. And it took this damn thing. I can explain, I guess. Like if you look at both these fingers, right? Okay, you can't really tell there, but I mean, look how much thicker the other one is. You see that? And you can see how much is missing. It's insane, right?
Oh, but they were able to reattach though.
It never didn't detach, but
Yeah.
it was bent up in the air and it was just devastated. Look at this. Guess what? Ask Jeremy. I have what, 30 guitars, Jeremy, at least? Okay. I can't fucking play my guitar anymore because I'm a shredder and stuff like I used to. It just completely destroyed my free time. I went into a bald depression. I wanted to blow my brains out. And I don't want to kill myself anymore, but I'm still suffering from massive depression. I can't do what I used to do with my hands. I'm a fucking mechanic, for Christ's sakes. I'm screwed in so many levels with my left hand, and it just
Marshall, when I had my DMT experience, one question that I did ask them, or one bit of information they imparted to me, was that people that commit suicide are chucking themselves in the void, and they really don't like it because the future possibilities that entity
creates. You don't know for sure, bro. You don't know for sure. Well, you're guessing, man. Yeah, I wanted to hear what Tim had to say because he knows.
I mean, so one thing I've worked out for a long time, but so one of the things I started doing last year was walking more, and that might be. I mean, right now, I know our weather sucks everywhere, right? It just sucks, but like, just getting out, you know, leave the phone at home, go for a walk, like, you know, I'm trying to do like 3 miles a day with the dog now. and it helps. It's just that physical activity. It's easy. Anybody can do it. I mean, it's just walking, right? It's not high impact or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. That's a start. That's a start.
Literally the
Can I
best
tell you this?
advice.
I've done
Like
that.
to start
I've done that.
drinking. Just go walk.
I've done that.
Get
Let me
out,
tell him
walk.
another thing that'll blow his mind. Ask Jeremy. I ride Harleys, right? Well, guess what, man? Last February, this happened fucking December. Excuse my damn fucking language. This happened in December, and I go out to get on my favorite bike. I have 2 bikes and ride it.
Okay, well,
and I couldn't
right
pull.
there,
I couldn't pull the clutch in, dude. I couldn't pull a clutch in, dude.
Rehabilitation will take time.
Oh,
It's
because
not
of your
over.
hand.
Rehabilitation won't do nothing. There's no muscle or anything or tissue left in this finger. You don't understand, Bernie. You don't listen.
Don't
And
accept it. You can literally
listen.
placebo effect direct your epigenetics to regrow it, and be the one in 100
Dude, I
that
don't
somehow
direct my shit to
makes that.
marijuana. Listen, okay? It took the other 2 damn fingers and took the tendons and snapped them backwards to this way, and they're destroyed. Other than having like 3 or 4 surgeries to try and fix it, I'm just saying my hand got completely fucked up. I can barely bend anything in these 3 in the middle. What do? You have no clue what this has done to me, bro. I hate life. It's fucked me up, man. And then that bastard in the crowd, I'm sorry about bitching. That guy in the crowd bitching about me being tired and stuff like that. Now maybe you know why I'm tired, dude.
I'm just
really hard to
think of,
sleep
like,
when you have it, when your finger's destroyed and it feels like 20,000 paper cuts are on.
Is there an alternative way to wire your clutch? Because let me see. So I mean,
well, yeah, I could hand clutch it on the ground. I mean I can put what's called a hand clutch on it and pull it, and then use my left foot to push the clutch in as the cable, and then hand clutch it like this. But you're creating what's called a suicide shifter, and around here we have really shitty roads, Tim. Out in California, you're at, it'd be great, but we have really shitty roads. It'd be super dangerous.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
I don't have a clutch on my car. I just have a stop.
No, he's talking about on his bike.
A stop
so
button.
You've got on your bike. I did
my
sport
bike,
bikes,
bro.
And on the right hand, you've got your throttle, and then above that is the clutch.
Yeah,
right?
throttle. Yeah, my throttle. My clutch is pulled left hand. And the thing is, man, listen, I even went and switched it over to a hydraulic clutch to make it much easier. Now, listen, I can pull that in easier, but every time I'd pull it in, this finger would bust completely open again. The skin would rip off of it. And it was just hell last year. I was on workers' comp for 6 or 7 months. I fucking hated it, man. And then there's always that one jerk at work that goes, he stuck his hand in that engine on purpose. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? I almost ripped my entire hand off. It's like, and I sure didn't.
It's called degloving.
Huh?
It's called degloving is the common thing, and it goes all the way up to your elbow.
Did you get electrocuted though? It was electrocuted.
Well, no, remember I got shocked first on working in the same department. Okay, check this out, dude. I'm wearing this. I'm putting these 2 starter cables on this wire, 24 amps, and I think 24 volts DC. I'm sorry, 24 volts DC and 30 amps. Okay, I am hooking these wires up, right? And this chick came up. She just didn't know any better. They didn't train her or anything. They just put her with me. I needed somebody with me to make sure I wasn't laying on the floor dead. She just comes up and throws these switches, man, and made the damn
she turned it hot.
Lines hot. And and I had this 3/4 inch, 12-inch ratchet, and I'm tightening the one up, dude. And as soon as it got anywhere near a grounded part, it arced the whole way over and took the socket and turned it into the most incredible shade of neon green you ever seen in your life, and melted it into the engine, dude. And it shot sparks all over me. I still have the shirt, and there's 1,000 holes in it, and I still have my pants and stuff. That happened first, and then like 3 months later, I got the other injury with the hand, man. It's unbelievable. And I work for a defense contractor, man.
Okay, so walking is good, but wear a safety vest, dude. Safety.
Yeah, safety vest. Well, you know what, man? I used to love walking the treadmill uphill real hardcore. You know, that used to always get me in really good shape. If I was in New York, I'd be running up and down steps. Step running's great for you. We don't have anything like that around here. I'm in PA, man. You know, it's just boring around here. Jeremy's been here. It's right, Jeremy. Be honest.
Well, this time of year, anywhere this time of year. I mean, yeah, man, I'm in the same boat. I hopped in the car earlier tonight. I'm like, I just got to get out of the house. I ended up buying chicken at Costco and Lunchables for the kid. Right, that's my night. Chicken and Lunchables. So, but you know,
well, you're 48, right? I'm 52. It's tough getting older. These young cats don't get it, man. It's not easy, guys. Wait, you'll see. Bernie, you'll see. All this shit's a joke. Emmy, you'll be all right. Bernie,
I'm about reverse aging and finding, you know, that monoatomic gold that will make us 7,000 years or something. Get the metamaterials.
You're still making metamaterials and anything. Listen, here's what I hope for these days, Tim. This is no lie, because remember I knew Ed Fouché real good, and I'll never forget. I met you through Ed. You know what I hope for these days? I just sit here and I just pray that they're gonna. And I say CNN, and you know, you people we all probably hate CNN. I just hope that CNN comes on one day and there's that TR3B just sitting there on this giant tarmac, dude, and it's opened up and Ed's in the damn thing, or somebody, you know, and it just opens up and we'll be like, man, we were right, you know, and that thing's there. I pray for that, but you know what?
It kind of seems like
we're never gonna see it.
It kind of seems like that's where things are going. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath, but
that's what happened with the stealth fighters, remember? But they weren't talking about UFOs back then. They were in Parhump, Nevada, and they were out there. They just weren't around here.
This year is like a hold your breath year, I think. You know? That hold your breath,
right
or hold
between
my
the Blackbird
beer,
and before, like the Wingcraft one, there was that other one that kind of could fit in like the TR3B. Anywho, Jeremy's saying he's got to get to bed. Sure, it's late for everyone if we want to wrap it up, and my wife is calling me at the point that I have to drive and pick her up from work. So
yeah, well, thank you guys for inviting me. It was good. It was good to talk with you again, and thank you for having me on. I should apologize for interrupting Jeremiah earlier. I was just teasing him, and now his blue orb is quiet.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I guess I'll just mention this one last thing as another side tangent to prove your point, right, Tim? Where I'm going to squirrel us. So I did just finish the 3D print that Simon made for this very interesting device called the Morton Effect Pulse device. And it's based around the scalar discharge topology of a close parallel plate spherical capacitor that drops its energy in an extraordinary short period of time. We're talking probably less than 1 nanosecond. And then what it does is one side of this capacitor plate is connected to an antenna. So you could never pump, you know, like I'd say 500,000 watts into an antenna beam about 5 inches long. But in this case, it's being done electrostatically. So here we're looking at the effect of what happens when you increase the scalar potential in some unit of space by a insane amount over an incredibly short period of time, and what it will do to epsilon. And we're looking for those propulsive effects. So I just got that part printed. It looks gorgeous. Simon did a fantastic job. And I've got the cup hammered out, the ball with its brazed time terminal, and soon I'll be mounting the antenna and putting this all together. So I'm pretty excited that we're going to maybe have a gravitational pulse device that's way simpler than popping off. Way simpler.
Well, you know, and actually, and before we go, that's one of the things that I am seeing, right? Because I'm not actively building stuff, but this is one of the things that I'm seeing, and I'm sure Jeremy Riss is seeing this too, is Jeremiah, not only yourself, but the people who are building things this year. It seems like everything is moving forward, and it's moving forward really rapidly there. And so that's really, again, I'm kind of a bystander, but I'm just like, I love looking at it, right? And so, you know, I just cheerlead you guys. You're doing amazing work, and it's just getting better and better and better and better. So that's really exciting.
Well, yeah, one thing I would say, I'll still give you the credit where it's due. You're the best mod that anybody could have ever asked for dealing with these derelicts. People like me that like to squirrel and people like Jack that like to curse, and people that are really, really too quiet or whatnot. You can deal with them all, and you can do it elegantly and professionally, which is certainly a talent that I do not have. So.
Well, I appreciate you saying it, but trust me, I'm just being a fan of watching. I'm just watching everything that's going on, and it's wonderful.
Tim,
it is wonderful.
Tim, you're not related to Jesse Ventura, are you at all?
No, and you know what? That's not his real name. I didn't know that. I saw that a while ago. Yeah,
I know what it is. I know his brother.
Legit.
Tim
You can
Janos.
be Tim Ventura.
Tim Janos. Did you know that?
That's not his real name. He's actually a Polish guy.
Who?
Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura's last name is Janos.
Yeah.
His brother. He has a brother named Janos too. Listen, Jan Janos and Jim Janos. They're both Navy SEALs. And that it's true that they were SEAL team guys. They weren't in long. One was in 6 years, one was in 8 years. Yes, Janos was last name. Actually, believe it or not, that's Greek. So, yeah.
Oh, is it Greek?
And as a moderator yourself, Tim, it makes a lot of sense why your initials are TV, seeing as you do have that role.
What did you just say? What the fuck?
I don't know, guys. Me. I'm not exciting, but again, I would. Chicken and Lunchables. Right?
Yes, you are, Tim. Yes,
Tim, I have a feeling you're one of them guys that are from. I'm sorry.
One thing I want to say real quick is that the information flows at a slow rate to get out to the public, right? Like I think we saw this. A lot of us are old enough to see the beginning of social media and how social media has grown. And I feel like once upon a time, social media was a thing where you could get the truth before it got onto the news, and now it's reached a point where it's almost inverted. And so, for the people like Jeremiah out there who are doing experiments, alien scientists, all the rest of you guys that are out there doing it, I think that Tim and honestly myself, I want to be somebody who's helping getting that out to the public in a way where it's digestible to them. What I would say is keep doing what you're doing, guys. It's amazing.
Yeah. And there's a lot of fragmentation too. And that's one of the things I'm seeing. It's a lot harder to get stuff out there because it's just fragmented. There are a lot of people competing for mind share. There are a lot of different channels and so, but it's making a difference.
Tim, I never really got a chance to talk to you, but watching them
overcoming the compartmentalization and the disinfo aspects of the official sources.
Every fucking time I go to say something to Tim, I get cut off. Sorry about that, Tim. I didn't mean to get cut off.
Well, you have my email, right?
Yeah, I just want to say you do a great job on Saturdays with the.
Oh, well, thank you.
Because sometimes I don't think you think you're appreciated, and there's a lot of people that watch that, and you don't realize that I sit here a lot and watch it, and it goes on for hours. The APEC, and thanks for doing that. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, all I do is play traffic cop. That's it. And that's enough. There's so much going on there. By the end of those conferences, I'm like dead exhausted most of the time.
Oh, I can tell. I know when Jeremy's held them, Jeremy will message me like, "Man, to keep me awake or something." It's got to be tough to do that. You guys have a lot going on with that stuff, and you guys are the head of ufology in a certain way, but you're the head of it in the honest way, and that's important, dude. Who wants to be known as the cheater or
that's called integrity.
Yes, have integrity and stuff. It's like Jeremy, you're doing it the right way. It's going to take a while. But you know what? In the long run,
I appreciate you saying that. But yeah. I know Jeremy he's just look at his subscriber base, 120,000 subscribers now. So for me, I'm just trying to get people's message out a little bit, so.
If you do talk to a 7-foot tall alien, ask him if they can fix my back, please. We probably have injuries you need fixed.
I got something to try. Okay. I don't want to,
okay.
So I had a buddy and he rides Harleys too. And his girlfriend got him into yoga 6 years ago. And at first he was like, there's no way I'm getting into yoga, right? Because he's kind of like a biker guy. Yeah. But he did it for a couple of months. His back was so locked up he could barely move because he'd had an injury. And I didn't see him for a while. The next time I saw him after that, he does yoga every day, and he says if he stops doing yoga, it starts to lock up again. But he's like, it cured me. He's like, I quit going to the chiropractor, I quit taking medicine. So I mean, I don't know, right? Like your mileage may vary, but it might be something to look at, and it's basically stretching. So that would make sense why it's helping. It just works out those tendons and stuff.
Guys, I got to drop out, but I just want to thank everybody for being here. Tim, I followed you on Twitter. Maybe can reach out to you. And thanks everybody for the chat tonight. And I'd like to get in touch with you, Jeremiah, at some point as well. I'll try to reach out through Alien Scientist Jeremy. Appreciate you guys, everybody.
Absolutely.
Bernie, have a good night, guys. Thanks.
Ashton, real quick, thank you for having balls, dude. I mean, you give them people, you don't let them talk down to you and stuff. And you've impressed me because I thought a lot of times them bastards can harass you to the point where you back out, and you didn't let that happen, man. And me and Jeremy have said that. I don't give a fuck if you're wrong. You know why? I like the fight you're in. Okay.
Thanks, man.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Hey,
I'm not
some
saying
people have steel balls. Ashton has 4 orbs of interdimensional makeup. All right, you know.
Well,
it's a tough life for us guys who are talking about teleportation out there. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with what you said early on, Ashton. Like what you said was absolutely critical. Why are we focusing so much on who might be making these things when we should be focusing on how we can utilize what they've made? We should be building this technology. We should be focused on the tech, on the implementation, on how us human beings, us little creatures on this earth, will be building these things. And that was absolutely something that I think is the biggest point of contention for me personally in this community. So many people want to try to delay and defer the focus away from what we can actually do. As Jeremy has said best, actionable intelligence. If it is not actionable, it is worthless. It's entertainment.
Appreciate you, Jeremy. I'm going to try to get in touch with you, buddy. I'll talk to you guys later.
Jeremy can send you my number, and by all means.
Sounds good, man. Have a good night, everybody.
Follow Ashton Forbes on Twitter and YouTube, and also Mysterion on Twitter. And I don't know if you had a YouTube channel as well, but I know
I do have, yes.
Mr. Eon on.
I think Steve's on his way to say hi at the moment, just to.
Oh, is there somebody coming in? Come on in, whoever it is.
Yeah. Steve's on his way. Be right
Guys,
back.
I'm going to jump off. I appreciate you just letting me sit in here and BS here and there. Have a good night.
Much love.
Nothing to plug. No. No books.
Take care.
No.
Bring him in, whoever it is.
A guy that just wants to hang out and nothing to sell.
Bring it
That's
in.
always a good thing, man.
Bring whoever it is in.
Guys, you can check me out.
Real quick, bring him in. Who is it?
Steve Cambion.
Oh, yeah, bring him in. I used to talk to him.
Yeah.
Steve's, bring him in.
Steve's a good fella. My boss.
I'm going to.
I know what's up. Bring him in.
I don't see him in the background.
I actually emailed Steve Cambion earlier.
I was planning to shut it down right now, but hey, listen, Steve, I'm sorry. We can do another show another time. And
he won't come in. Probably on here
backstage after.
Is he on his way?
You don't want to put that shit behind us, I guess. Oh well.
It's all right. We'll have you on another time, and I got to get John Gold on another time coming up soon. So thank you all.
Hey, look who it is, Bim Jim. Don't come in, Bim Jim. The things are messed up.